I awoke from a fitful sleep. I spent the entire night dreaming about fire ants and getting punched, getting laughed at. It was all a jumble. Then my aching jaw reminded me what I was going to do this morning. The sky in the east was just beginning to show signs of light. Now is the time.
Hey, he's gonna do it. Bowie's taking the long walk. Pay up.
Yeah, I knew he was too soft. Living up to his name. Good riddance.
Would you two shut up over there? I'm trying to sleep.
I ignored them. Once I got my bearings, I headed toward the executive officer's tent. Normally, the executive officer is one of the faculty during field exercises, but ever since General Frankel took over as the academy superintendent a year ago, he camps out in the field with the incoming class. No one knew why, but he was the old man and could do whatever he wanted. That's what everyone called him. The old man. The general. The XO. Sir, I want to resign. That's all I have to say. Sir, I want to resign.
Halt. State your name and business.
Cadet Draper, I wish to speak with the executive officer. Personal business.
Very well. Wait here.
He had indicated a rough wooden bench by the entrance flap. I sat down trembling, scared out of my mind. He then entered the tent. Sir, I want to resign. Sir, I want to resign. That's all I have to say. Sir, I want to...
Tipper, don't!
I looked up. There before me was the flower girl. I hadn't seen her since I yelled at her to go away all those years ago. Huh? You? How did you... Never mind. What are you doing here?
Don't resign, Dipper.
I can't do this. It's too hard. Why shouldn't I resign?
I can't tell you that. Just please, hold on for one more day.
I can't. I just can't do it.
Draper, the executive officer will see you now.
She was gone again, as usual. I stood up and followed the guard into the tent. There behind a small folding table was the old man, Lieutenant General James Frankel. Next to him was his adjutant. I never did learn his name. The old man was looking right at me as I entered. The guard then saluted, turned, and left. Now I saluted. Sir, Cadet Draper reports.
You're not a cadet yet, Draper. Now what is it you needed to see me about? This had better be important. I'm delaying my breakfast for this.
Sir, I want to...
Speak up, Dooley. I can't hear you.
Sir, I want to apologize for my behavior yesterday.
Still can't hear you, Dooley. Must not be that important.
Sir, yesterday during field exercises, we were ordered to freeze and
Stop right there, Dooley. Before you continue, you do know Regulation 890.
No, sir.
Yes, you do. It was in your information folder you were sent upon your acceptance to the Academy. You signed a paper stating that you had read it in its entirety when you arrived.
He was right. I had read it. It's the regulation regarding disobeying a direct order or attempting to strike a superior officer. The maximum penalty is death. I had hoped to claim ignorance. I was in deep sludge now.
Speak up, Dooley. Did you read it?
Yes, sir. I read it, and I stand ready for administrative discipline.
Adjutant?
Sir.
Go take a break.
The adjutant saluted and left the tent quickly.
Dipper, isn't it? Sit down.
He knew who I was. Oh, this was bad, very bad. I sat quickly before I would have keeled over. He then sighed and folded his hands.
We are officially alone now. Anything you and I say here is off the record. I know very well what happened yesterday. I find out about everything that happens during basic, and as far as I'm concerned, the matter was handled in the way it was supposed to be, and you've already been disciplined. How's the jaw?
Still sore, sir.
If it gets worse, which it probably won't if I know Zim, report to sick call. Dipper, I have to admit I'm disappointed. When I heard you were waiting to see me, honestly, my heart sank. I thought you were going to resign.
I was, sir. I changed my mind.
Had the words "I want to resign" come out of your mouth in front of my adjutant, I would have had no choice but to let you resign. My hands would have been tied. But you didn't. Why not?
I don't know, sir.
I think I do.
He stood up, folded his hands behind his back, and began pacing slowly.
I remember my own basic training here when I entered the academy. Basic was just as hard back then as it is now. But I was a hyena, and a male one at that. Female hierarchy in hyena culture is very strong, and for a male to get anywhere, they had to exceed in everything. I was used to a hard life, so basic was just more of the same to me. There was another there who hit the wall just like you did. But I saw something in him, I don't know what it was, that told me there was more in him than even he knew. I could tell he was on the brink. Most of the doolies in basic can feel when someone is going to quit. And some of them, yeah, they were not going to make it. But this guy, it just felt wrong. He could make it if he tried. But one day, something snapped. I could see in his face that he had broken. He had had enough and was going to quit. The final mess before we were to bunk down, I sat down next to him and said simply, "Don't do it." He looked at me.
I can't make it.
Yes, you can. I know you can. And that was it. The entire conversation. Well, it worked. He changed almost overnight. Guess knowing that one person believed in him was all he needed. He made it past that wall and never looked back. Did pretty well in the academy after that. We separated at graduation, but met up again years later when we were both sent to Afghanistan. By then I was his commanding officer. One evening we had gone from the airbase to a nearby army barracks to play some poker.
Sir, isn't gambling against regulations?
Doesn't mean it doesn't happen anyway. Well, we were about to leave the gate and drive back to the airbase, when we noticed a single Afghani running towards the gate. This airman saw the danger and immediately pushed me to the ground and ran towards the attacker, along with the guards at the gate. With a shout, that terrorist opened his coat to reveal he had strapped dynamite all around him. One guard jumped in front of the airman just as the explosives went off. That guard was killed instantly. The airman spent months in the hospital, as did the other guard. I didn't get a scratch. Because that airman pushed a superior officer to the ground, I didn't get a scratch. I credit that airman with saving my life. His name was Dan Draper.
I sat there silent. My dad. He knew my dad. He turned and faced me.
Draper, there's more in you, and I think you know it. That's why you didn't resign. I told you that bit of history not to say I'm going to take it easy on you. Quite the contrary. I'll make sure that Zim is as hard on you as possible. I know you have more in you, but I haven't seen your best yet. You don't get to come waltzing in here riding on your father's and grandfather's coattails and get away with it. I don't want to see you simply match that airman's efforts. I want to see you exceed it. I know you can. You hear me?
Sir, yes, sir!
Good. I'll be watching. Now get back to your tent. It's almost reveille. Dismissed.
I stood and saluted, then turned and left quickly. The sky was much lighter now. I walked quickly to make sure I got back before the bugle called. What just happened? He knew my dad? The old man knew my dad? Why didn't my dad... Of course. He didn't want me expecting special treatment. Then why did the old man tell me that? I guess it was so I would believe him when he said that I had more in me. Maybe I do. Well, I promised my dad I wouldn't let him down. Maybe I can do this. Beaten, broken, barely holding on. But he'd think there's something strong somewhere inside me. I may be down, but I'll get up again. Don't count me out just yet. I've been brought down to my knees, and I've been pushed way past the point of breaking. But I can take it. I'll be back on my feet. This is far from over. You haven't seen the last of me. You haven't seen the last of me. They can say that I won't stick around, but I'm gonna stand my ground. You're not gonna stop me. You don't know me, you don't know who I am. Don't count me out so fast. I've been brought down to my knees, and I've been pushed way past the point of breaking, but I can take it getting back on my feet. This is far from over. You haven't seen the last of me. There's no fade out. This is not the end. I was down, but now I'm standing tall again. Times are hard, but I was built tough. I'm gonna show you all just what I'm made of. I was brought down to my knees, and I've been pushed way past the point of breaking, but I can take it now. I'm back on my feet. This is far from over. I am far from over. You haven't seen the best of me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. Oh no, you won't see me backing out. I'm not taking my bow. Can't stop me. It's not the end. You haven't seen the best of me. You haven't seen the best of me. You haven't seen the best of me.
Hey, he's back.
What's the matter, Pooh? Too chicken to even resign?
Whoa.
Dang,
ho.
didn't expect to see that. Did Pooh just give you the finger?
All right, Julius, on your feet, up and at 'em. Let's move. Come on, get up, Julius. Another day, another session of fun and games. Let's go.